This is the after-action report for Over the Reich, turn 45 for the Allies. So I got some B-17 reinforcements this turn. 8 bomber commands build-up in England continues with the arrival of several squadrons of heavy bombers. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so they arrived in Molesworth, Duxford, Ridgewell, and Kingscliff. I had a bit of trouble because these were already supporting a lot of units, so a couple flew to Manston unarmed, but Manston has at least a couple of extra shields, so I can arm them up. So on the night map, most of the damage I took was by attacking Peenemünde before moving out all the other bombers. So the 88s did some splash damage because I figured, oh, why don't we just attack and then move the stuff away. I forgot that in Over the Reich, that's a problem. You can't do that. And unfortunately, the urban center still survived. I have a few more bombers here. It's hard to tell which ones are armed and which ones aren't at the moment. But I didn't really take many casualties this turn, just 4 units, a couple of P-38s, and a Halifax. So, basically, the big thing still going on is Schweinfurt Regensburg, and so since my P-47s can't escort anymore, I'm trying a new tactic where I separate everything by 2 squares, and just intermix all the different like some B-24s with either P-38s or B-17s. So basically the idea is that if all these are separated by 2 squares, which most of them are, then the fighter can't just sit and attack, sit in one spot and attack things. If it kills the thing it's attacking, it then has to at least move. So it should hopefully at least waste one movement, one of the attacks. I don't know if that's really makes sense or whether it can't sit there and attack 3 times in a row. I guess. Have to see if it works. And also, a lot of these planes react at distance too, so making an attack can get all sorts of stuff nearby to attack you. So I have no idea if this tactic is going to work, but the only other tactic would be to just sacrifice P-47s. I'm inclined to think that that's the better strategy, just because sacrificing P-47s or have like terrible losses to bombers. But yeah, I don't know. I can't think of an event that would force the player to send units home instead of going out of range. Because unfortunately, the range counter we don't have access to in Lua. That's just because the Nameless One forgot to give us access to it, and he's kind of gone for a while. He'll probably turn up in a year or 2. If the past is any indication of the future. So, So in conjunction with that, I've switched away production from P-47s because I have enough and I don't really lose them, to P-38s, which I could use an awful lot more of, because the ones that are sent out here won't be able to attack enemy fighters without sacrificing themselves. So that's something that could be a bit of a problem. And so what I should have done is saved a whole bunch over here. Had a whole bunch fly out this turn to about 30 squares out. So then they could at least fly over and make an attack against anything that stops by. I mean, I guess I can always just sacrifice some fighters to range in order to get stuff, which is probably the better strategy since my fighters are cheaper than the German fighters. So I don't think there's much else. I used some Hurricanes to make attacks against these airfields. At the moment, they'll just have like one piece of flak in them, so not really worth trying to do anything. I might make a build up and attack Wound Select. I'll have to send Photo Recon to see if there's still stuff there. Or maybe I make attacks and then attack Wound Select. I could either do that from an airbase or research Jabo 2, which would give me better planes, and that should, I think this is within 20 squares of Manston. So I should be able to, make the attack that way. Well, we'll have to see. But in any case, that's all that's happened on turn 45.